the live stream, or thank you for watching the recording. But if you're joining the live stream, let's go hardcore today. I don't know why, but I feel like very brave. That's maybe all of the natural sugar I've just drank. I don't eat normal sugar, so wherever is like added sugar, I don't drink it, I don't eat it, and I mean it literally, even like bread. I need to... Okay, so even bread, which contains sugar, I don't eat, but I eat some fruits, and it always gives me so much power. So, hardcore questions today. Please. That's not hardcore. That's not hardcore, please. Please, guys, send me some hardcore questions today. I'm ready for that. So anyway, any questions you might have about immigration to the Czech Republic, about running a business here, getting local health insurance, finding accommodation, getting any types of visas or extending them, or citizenship or permanent residency, or whatever else, I'm here today to answer your questions. But I'm kind of excited to have some hardcore questions. So guys, don't go easy on me. Have something like very special, very difficult, like ask me about my childhood and stuff like that. That's very difficult always. So anyway, Mohammed Harshad. Hello, sir. Hello, Mohammed. That's not a question, but hopefully some questions will arrive. Otherwise, this will be a very, very weird live stream. I've had some weird live streams, but this might be the best. Until my sugar goes down and I like fall asleep here. So use it while I still have energy. Okay, let's go. Abu Afsal Tawhid. Hello, Jan. My visa has been approved on 6th February 25. However, my embassy in New Delhi saying there is no communication by MOI to them. Yeah, that happens. That happens. It can take some time from the approval before the embassy contacts you. Yeah, a month, that's been kind of a long time, but it can happen. So give them a couple more days, and if you don't hear from them in maybe 2 weeks or something, maybe contact them again or whatever. But there can be some delay, of course. It's the MOI. Everything's delayed there. Anyway, Mohammed Harshad. Hello, sir. How much money we should keep in our account as show money for student visa? That's equivalent to 100,000 crowns. That's easy. Guys, hardcore questions, please. Gaming buddy. Hi, bro. Hi, gaming buddy. Yeah, I would like to know about the minimum proof of funds. I've just answered that. How much time should I expect to reach me? Well, you never know. You never know. But the thing is, they make the decision, but then they need to like write a statement, prepare some instructions for the embassy, then they need to send it to the embassy, and the embassy must let you know. And that's all like human factor. So like I would say a month is kind of long in my opinion, but I've seen people waiting longer. So give them 2 more weeks, and if nothing happens, start like making some waves again. Ooh, guys, come on, more questions. I need more questions today. Hardcore. What can be bought by the richest man? Okay. Well, that might be more like an embarrassing question, or my answer might be embarrassing. Okay, but that's a tough question. Okay, MK Scosi. What cannot be bought by the richest man? Fuck. Well, I would like to say something like, you know, inspiring and everything, but honestly, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I give up. I might revisit this question when we go through the live stream, because I don't want you to just look at me for the next 10 minutes while I'm thinking about that. But if something gets to mind, I will answer that. So stay here with us. Let's see what are the other questions here. But yeah, that's a very tough question. And you know that I try to be real as much as I can with you and like with my answers and everything. So I don't want to just give you some answer that's like whatever. I just don't think about it. I want to think about it and give you my real opinion about what can be bought by the richest man. So that's a tough one. That's good. Bendover Sigma, hi Bendovan. Sarah Jewel, can you tell about apartment rent, why prices are high? That's kind of difficult as well, but not as much as the richest man. Maybe I know what richest man cannot buy. Yeah, but it's brewing. I have a better idea now. I don't have the definite answer, but yeah. Anyway, so apartment rent. Why the prices are very high? There are a couple of reasons or couple of influences that came together. One of the reasons is that there is just not enough apartments being built. And that has a couple reasons. First, there might not be enough spots because Prague has a plan, like it's called municipality plan, and there are areas which are banned from building, or like there are different areas meant for different things. So like, for example, in this area, you cannot build houses. You can only build offices there. Or in this area, you cannot build anything. There is a forest and it must stay there. There are like areas like this all around Prague. So you actually cannot build houses anywhere or like everywhere, wherever you want. There are like dedicated places where you can do it and when you cannot do it. So that's one thing. Yeah, Domažlice, that might be, it's always, okay, so I'll simplify it. It's always, because there was a big discussion about this on Facebook, and it's actually pretty simple, but then the simple part can get complicated. So simple thing is offer and demand. That's simple. So wherever there is low amount of apartments and high amount of people wanting the apartments, that increases the prices, because if you're a flat owner and you have 30 people interested in your apartment, you can say higher price and someone will take it. So why would you not do that? So that's like offer and demand. But then why the offer is so low or why the demand is so high, that can be complicated. But simple answer to that is offer and demand. Abu Afzal Tawheed, thank you so much, sir. Your reply gives me relief. All the best. All the best to you. I hope that you will get the answer from the embassy soon, and that you can pick up the visa and come here when you've been already approved. Gaming Buddy, how to get job seeker work visa in Czech. I would definitely not recommend getting it, because in my opinion, the job seeker visa is the biggest scam of all, like both in terms of people being scammed and also from like the use of the visa. I don't see a real use. Maybe I'm missing something, but I don't see a real use for the visa. Because you cannot switch to anything else. You can to a blue card, but that's not very likely. If you came here to pick up like strawberries, that now you will find a job as a rocket engineer. That's not very likely. It can happen, but it's not really that much of an option. So I don't really like the seasonal work visa, so I don't recommend applying for it. Khalif Soja, please sir, regarding the 3-month seasonal job, which type of visa application form should I use? Again, I don't recommend applying at all. If you're applying for 3 months, then it's a short-term visa, then you need to use a form for short-term visas. Mohammed Harshad, sir, I have a question. If deposit 8 lakh in a row as proof of funds and withdraw 4 lakh after getting the bank statement while maintaining the required balance, would that be acceptable? First of all, I have no idea how much is 8 lakh. to Czech crowns. So you always must be above the required minimum in Czech crowns. Second thing is, if you mention that you will always be above the required limit, then you're fine. It doesn't matter if you had like 10 million crowns. Now you have 200,000 crowns. If the 200 is still above the required minimum, there is no problem with that. It would be a problem if you were above the minimum and that then you withdrew money and then you are below the minimum. That would be a problem. But if you stay above that the whole time, doesn't matter. Napoleon, Eli Benzuela, hello. I am a non-EU citizen holding a permanent residence permit, and in 3 years I would be eligible to apply for citizenship. Okay, before I get here, because I'm now thinking about the first tough question, what cannot be bought by the richest man? So I would say two things cannot be bought, and that's your own conscience, let's say. If you know that you're doing something you should not be doing, and you're ignoring that, and you're doing it anyway, like, it's not like I'm afraid so I will not do this, so you should ignore that and ignore and override. But if you know that you're not doing something good and you keep doing it, that's something that money will not fix. It will fix it if you hire like a psychotherapist, or if you start working on yourself, start working on that, that's fine. But the conscience, that would be very difficult to buy. The one thing. Second thing is connected to, because I studied environmental protection and I still feel like a big connection, even though I'm doing something completely different. I still feel the connection to the world around us in general. So I think that you cannot buy, if we destroy this planet, that's something that cannot be bought back, or it would be very, very difficult, and a lot of lives would be destroyed. So that's also something even the richest man cannot buy. So these two things, then honestly, that's my real answer. Your conscience, if you're doing something you know you should not be doing and you continue doing it, that's something money will not fix, unless of course you invest in yourself and like fix yourself basically, or like destroying the planet and then trying to fix it. That's even the richest man will not do. So yeah, I'm happy I got to the answer. So MK Scosi, here you go. And now I can focus on the less hardcore questions. But guys, if you have some other hardcore questions for me, please share them. I still have the sugar here, so that's good. So I'm a non-EU citizen holding a permanent residence permit, and in 3 years I would be eligible to apply for citizenship. Could I ask what are the important things should I need to prepare? Okay. For the citizenship, there are basically, I would say, 3 important things. First is being integrated into the Czech society. So you should work on that, because if you don't have anyone, you live here on your own and you only speak with foreigners and you're like you sit at home, you're like most of the time, that will probably not be considered as integration. So ideally you should, like, what is the best case scenario? I'll tell you. It doesn't mean that if you don't meet this, that you'll not get the citizenship, but I'll show you the highest possible example, okay? So the highest possible example would be having a Czech spouse and or kids, owning a place here, owning a company here, or being self-employed, paying to the government, being part of some, I don't know, play football for some local club. You know, you live in Prague 17 in Řepy, and you are part of the football club there, and you play with Czech kids or Czech people, and yeah, that's a good integration. Or you're active in some local. We have a client now. We are working on his citizenship right now, and he's in his village or close to it, they should be building a storage for nuclear waste. And he's very much against that because he and his wife own a property there and they don't want to have like radioactive material storage next to their houses. So they're organizing like a lot of protests and they are taking part of that. And that's a good show that you are integrated into the society and that you think about like staying here long term because you're engaged in that. So that's a very good example. So this is one thing you should be working on. Second thing, you definitely should be staying here because they want to see the travels for the last 3 years. So if you spend like 2 years in Germany, then you come back for 1 year and then you try to apply for the citizenship. That will also be kind of complicated because you, most of the time within the last 3 years, you haven't really lived here. So that's a second thing. And third thing would be your income. Because even though you don't need to prove, it's not the same way as you prove for your permanent residency or for other forms of residencies, how much money you're making on a monthly basis. You still need to prove your income for the last 3 years. And those incomes must match your expenses because you will be proving that as well. So this would be kind of important to have like sorted too. So these would be the 3 things that I think are important. Gaming buddy, okay, I'm in the UK, I'm applying but not getting job response, completed my masters. That's about the... okay, job seeker work visa. Okay, sorry, I thought it was the seasonal job visa. Okay. Job seeker visa does not exist in the Czech Republic in the way, sorry gaming buddy, I misread and I thought it was the seasonal work, but the job seeker, that only applies to students who finished their Czech universities in the Czech Republic. So if you finished a Czech university and you are on a student residence permit, you can directly switch to a job seeker residence permit and you can stay additional 9 months in the Czech Republic and look for a job. But if you don't study in the Czech Republic, or if you're not even in the Czech Republic, you cannot get a job seeker like it's, for example, possible in Germany and other countries. So unfortunately, the Czech Republic does not offer this. Napoleon, how long is it to process for citizenship application, and is it the approval rate high? What usually goes wrong in citizenship applications? Thank you very much. Yeah, so what usually goes wrong? We've had all the applications we've had were approved so far. So I cannot tell you what goes wrong, but I would say these 3 things I mentioned are the most crucial. The rest is kind of, I don't want to say like, how to say, now the sugar is decreasing, so now easier questions. But formalities, I would say, because you need to prove you have no debts against the government, you need to like write a motivation letter, you need to write a CV, these kind of things, those are more like formalities, but the income, proving that you're integrated into the society, and the travels are the most important bits. Of course, then if you also were getting some support from the government, unemployment support, all that can jeopardize the application as well. Or if you had any bigger debts against the government, you were not paying the social security or healthcare, for example, that could also be a problem. But if you have these 3 things sorted, you should be fine. As for how long it takes, officially 6 months, but usually or generally, normally, the real life answer would be at least a year. Anything below a year, you can be happy. Khalif, I mean, should I use the Schengen visa application form, right? I think so. We don't really deal with short-term visas and definitely not the seasonal visas, but under 3 months, that's a short-term visa, so you need to use a short-term form, which would be, I guess, the same as the Schengen visa form. Mohammed Harshad, sir, I have a question. If I deposit 218,000 as a proof of funds and withdraw 109, after getting the bank statement, will keep in the required balance, would that be acceptable? I believe I answered that. I just didn't know how much it was in luck, but yeah, if you're above the required minimum, that's fine. I just think that 109 is below the required minimum. So you would need to add a bit more. I think for students, it's like 114,500. The minimum, we always say 120 just to be sure. So if you're above that, you should be fine. But 109 is below the limit, so that would not be enough. Caliph Soja, there are 3 types of visa applications form on the Czech Embassy website, and I'm unsure which one to use. Could you please assist me and confirm if I can proceed with the Schengen app form? I would say so, yeah. As I mentioned before, I think that's the correct one. Hey, Hayan, I think you forgot one very important thing for the Czech citizenship A2 language exam. I believe they asked for B2, as well as an exam general questions about the country. It's B1 actually, but yeah, I mean, you can apply for the citizenship generally after living here for 10 years. So if in 10 years you cannot speak B1, I would question if you should get the citizenship, honestly. So yeah, that's my answer to this tough question. Really, I mean, you've been living here for 10 years. You should be integrated into the society, and you don't speak even B1, which is like kind of a normal conversation. Yeah. And if you, like, of course, like passing the knowledge test, that might be a bit tricky because there might be things you are not really, like, you don't discuss on like daily basis with your friends and stuff, but they're kind of important. So I think that's reasonable requirement, and everyone who wants to get the citizenship should be able to pass that exam. Levi and Davis, hi Levi, thank you very much. Gaming buddy, no, it's full-time work visa. In which company can provide me? Well, it depends. There is a website of the labor office where you can go, and where embassies, the sugar is like decreasing now, where companies have to advertise if they want to hire a foreign national. So if you have a chance of finding a company that's willing to hire foreigners and help you with the process, that would be there. Other than that, the standard job sites like Jobs CZ and others, I don't think you have very high chances there. MK Scosi, do you believe in magic? No, not really. Like if you mean Harry Potter wizard shit, no, I don't believe in that. That's easy. Easy question. Rijamal, hi sir, I'm working in Czech. Now it is maternity time. My visa expired in November. Can I renew my visa this time? You can, but I have no idea how it works actually. Because that's already a pretty complicated topic, because it's not only about immigration, but it's also about like the employment law and others. So it's possible, because your employer cannot fire you if you are pregnant. And then if you're on the maternity leave and parents leave, they kind of need to keep the job for you. So you can also renew the employee card. I've seen it happen in the past, but honestly, I've never done it myself, and I would, I mean, I wanted to say I would not like to do that. I might want to do that just to learn, but there would be a risk that it doesn't work out, because that's really kind of a complicated situation. So I would not want to do that. But I can recommend someone who can help if you wish. Caliph Soja, thanks for the clarification, sir. My pleasure. Nauman Razak, what would be processing time of scientific research visa? Thank you so much. Officially 60 to 90 days. In real life, you never know. That's how it works with most of the visas in the Czech Republic. Hustle more in 60 days means 60 working days in terms of PR file decision. It's 60 calendar days, so 60 days, not 60 working days, just simple 60 days. But it does not mean anything. The ministry does not stick to any deadline. So even though the law says 60 days, you need to make the decision. They can take 6 months, no problem. So, it's nothing binding, you know. The ministry doesn't care, really. Lita Nalom, 1985. student's visa convert to work visa possible? Yes, it's possible. Not recommended, but possible. I've done a video about this, so go to my channel and search for like changing purpose of stay or switching from visa to employment, student to employment, something like that. I've done a video about that. I don't really recommend doing that, but it's possible. Mohammed Harshad, Jan, thanks a lot for your replies. Could you please provide me with your WhatsApp number? It would be appreciated if you can provide me that. If I have any doubts regarding the process, I will text you. Well, my WhatsApp number will not be of use to you because I don't really reply there to unscheduled communications. I only go there if I have agreed with someone to talk there, because I receive plenty of messages that I, how to say, didn't request, let's say, or plenty of people, and it's like, it might be potential clients, it might be questions, but it's a lot of spam as well, and it's just too much, and I cannot sort it out. So I only go to WhatsApp if I schedule some communication there. But if you send an email to us, we'll be happy to help, and either me or one of my colleagues. Gaming Buddy, what is the website? Comment under the video, because when I do the live streams, I usually like upload the videos to YouTube, and it's there in the live stream sections. So when it's uploaded, comment there, and I'll put the website there. Chamuki Bazuki, Jan, is it true Czech Babiš don't let people help them in the kitchen with cooking or serving? What is that? What is that? What does it mean? Jan, is it true Czech Babiš? Babiš, like the ex-prime minister, don't let people help them in the kitchen with cooking or serving? Not sure what you mean, Chamuki Bazuki, but if you rephrase it, I'll be happy to answer. Mehmet Kenan Usta, hi, I live here 4.5 years, 4 years and rest of the time partnership visa. When can I apply to PR? 4 year and rest of the... Well, it kind of depends. Partnership visa means you're not married, so nothing changes about the 5 years. And then it depends if your partner is Czech or not. If your partner is Czech, then you can apply after 5 years of living here. If your partner is not Czech, then you can apply after 5 years, but first your partner would need to get a PR as well. W key. Do you like Helena Vondráčková and her malovaný džbánek? What the fuck is that question? I don't care about Helena Vondráčková, really. Now the only singer I kind of liked from this group of singers was Karel Gott, because he was keeping himself young, you know. He was like million years old already, but then he did like a rap song with a German rapper, Forever Young. If you like Für immer jung, actually in German, Für immer jung, but Forever Young. If you haven't seen that, search for it. It's Bushido and Karel Gott, Für immer Young, or Für immer jung, like Forever Young in German. And that was a great song, and all his songs were great. So Karel Gott, yes, I liked him. Helena Vondráčková, I don't care for her much, honestly. Mehmet, and do you recommend any Czech course for exam for PR? If you get in touch, I'll be happy to share some schools we work with. But if you are if you're under the partnership visa, you don't need to pass the Czech language exam. Sarah Jewel, my employment card will expire this June. Can I apply renewal for 3 months before? Yes, even 4 months, I believe, for the employee card. 120 days, 90 days for sure. So if it expires in June, you can apply. So June depends on when. May, April, potentially even March now already, but definitely you can do that. Napoleon, thank you very much for the response. Last question. I live in Brno, and if I move to Prague in 3 months, where will I file PR application? Change of address, since the PR card has an address. You definitely, in Prague, there are 3 branches. If you're not a student, there would be a 4th. But if you're not a student, there are 3 branches responsible for all parts of Prague. So it depends on where you move in Prague. I definitely do not recommend moving to Prague 4, 5, or 10. Because then you need to go to the Ministry of the Interior in Chodov, and that sucks. Whatever it sucks, sucks. I don't want to say anything else, but don't move to Prague 4, 5, or 10 because the MOI branch there is bad. For your student and rest partnership, yeah, I think I understood that. Czech grandmas, okay. So it wasn't babiš, it was babička, okay. I think babiš doesn't let people do other things, not helping. Well, I guess it depends on babička, it depends on the grandma. Some of them even like to teach you how to cook if you're interested. So it depends on how grumpy is the babička. I think they are actually pretty. They like if they can teach you how to cook, and if you tell them that they are great cooks, then I'm sure she will show you how to bake and cook. Let's see more. Should I file in Brno or Prague already, or I can apply in both cities for the change of address? Now you always need to submit the application based on where you live now. So if you move to Prague, you need to report the change of address to Prague, and then you apply for the PR in Prague as well. And I would definitely recommend it because it makes no sense to apply for your PR in Brno and then move to Prague, because then that will only confuse the ministry and they will need to send your file from Brno to Prague and it will delay the process. They might lose the file and other stuff. So definitely don't recommend doing it. If you move to Prague, report the change of address in Prague, apply for your PR in Prague. Jan, I got an offer letter from Mendel University for 3 years bachelor's in international territorial studies. However, I have a 4-year gap after class 2. Could this affect my visa approval? Everything can affect your visa approval, because the Czech ministry can deny your visa application based on whatever bullshit reason they want. So they will tell you that you have no motivation to study, no proper motivation to study in the Czech Republic. So everything can influence the process, but it depends how well you can explain during the interview why you want to study, why there was the gap, why in the Czech Republic, not somewhere else, not in the country of your origin and stuff like that. So it's more about if your intention to study here is real, if you have some motivation for that, if you have other than getting a Czech visa or EU visa potentially, and if you can explain that properly during the interview. Risiaciach Rosaidi, hey Jan, can I work legally with bridging visa? Depends on what you got the bridging visa for, you know. If you're under family reunification visa and then you got a bridging visa because you're applying for a residence permit, you cannot work. If you're under an employee card and you got a bridging visa to extend your employee card, then you can work. If you're under the other residence permit and you're extending, the bridging visa does not change anything about that, so you cannot work. If you have a student residence permit you're extending, you can work. So the bridging visa always comes from the bridging visa is always tied to your previous residence permit or visa you have. So basically the same rules apply to the bridging visa as applied to the previous or the original visa or residence permit you had. So if you could work under your previous residence permit, you can work now. If you couldn't, you cannot work now. Hopefully that explains. I'm anxious about my embassy interview in late March due to my 4-year study gap and self-nominated visa slope. What questions should I expect? Will the gap be a problem to get a visa? I answered the second part of the question, I believe. If you fell asleep and you didn't hear it, replay the video. but I've done a video specifically about the questions you can expect at the embassy. So go to my channel somewhere. I don't know where you need to click. I've never learned that because I don't watch other people's live streams. So I don't actually know where you need to click, but click somewhere, get to my channel and search for student visa interview and you'll find the questions there. Claudia Asiedu. Hey Jan, I went for my interview last week. When should I expect my visa? I hate this question, guys. Anywhere from like 1 week to never. Anywhere from 1 week to never. You never know, because I don't know what you said during the interview. Maybe you said, well, and that, no, I will not tell you the story. Then that was bad. But if you said, okay, I don't really want to study in the Czech Republic and I just want to get a visa for the EU and then travel around, very likely the visa will be denied. And that will take some time before they let you know, but there is no chance of you getting approved. If you answered the questions in the way they want to hear it, then you have chances of being approved. But I don't know first if by the interview you mean that you just submitted the application and they did the interview right away, in which case that will take long because they still have the full amount of time. Or if they called you for an interview later, so let's say you submitted your application 2 months ago and they just like invited you for an interview now, then the approval will come sooner, because you've been already in the process and the interview is usually the last step of the process. So it's very difficult for me to answer if I have no information about your case. So anything from a week to never. That would be like a general answer to this general question. Risiat Rosidi. I'm currently in process for temporary residence permit partnership visa because my partner is Czech citizen and I'm an Indonesian. So then, yes, you can work under the bridging visa. That's a clear question and clear answer. Okay, guys, no more questions. One more question. 40 minutes. I've spent 40 minutes here already. So the last question from Mohammed. Jan, I apologize for repeating my question. This will be last one today. Does a study gap of 4 years or more affect visa approval? I've answered it already. Go back to the video and watch it. But I answered it. The 4 years gap does not necessarily mean your visa will be denied. It's not like a direct thing that 4 gaps means denial. It depends on how you can explain the gap, how you can explain why you want to study now, why you want to study in the Czech Republic and not in the country of your origin, and how motivated you really are to study here. So the gap itself does not mean necessarily anything bad. It's just like how it's related to the general story of your visa application. Okay, now guys, I'm going. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for asking a question. And special thank to, let me see, special thanks to, I need to scroll back down, MK Skosi, because his first question was really hardcore and I requested that. I requested hardcore questions today. So MK Skosi, thank you very much. The second question was pretty simple. So that was good as well, but not as hardcore as the one before. So guys, thank you very much for watching, for being here. You know the drill. If you like that, if you find it useful, recommend my channel, comment, share, like, whatever, to increase the reach. And I'll see you again Thursday, Monday, until the end of the world. Bye bye guys. Good night.